What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a video on how to trade in the now. This is something that's very, very important. A lot of traders just brush this off, and I'm going to go over some very important topics that really will make a lot of sense to you. And if you listen to my advice and you put this into practice in your own trading, in my opinion, you're going to see a real 360 going on with your trading results. Before we do begin and we get into the video, all I ask is if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to my channel and also follow me on Instagram. I post daily trading recaps along with very good trading tips and tricks. The link to this will be in the description below. And this is going to lead me into my first point, which is about trading in the now. So, trading's not complicated when you're in the now. When you are not thinking it gives you what you want, that's because you already know everything there is to know. Your thinking, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions are only going to cloud your vision. So success in trading doesn't come from outside, no external factors. It only comes from inside because you're the operator and you control what you do and you control what you do not do. So my motto and how I look at it is less thinking and less doing, the better, because you already have all the answers inside. So this is going to bring me into the PowerPoint. And the first point I want to go over is many traders are too focused on the past, or they're too focused on the future and they forget completely about the present moment. Now, this could be with trading and this could be with, real life situations. If you've read The Power Now, it's very similar to this. So a lot of people look at decisions they made in the past or results from the past, and that will affect their decisions that they do now, or that will affect the decisions that they want to do sometime in the future. You take a loss on something, maybe your future trades are going to be a little more conservative, or you take a big win on something in the past, now you're going to have a huge ego and it's going to affect your trades in the current, present time. And a lot of people are too focused on the future. They're too focused on the money aspect of trading. They focus on, if I make this trade, maybe I can make 500, 1,000 bucks. And because of that, that affects their decision making. You have to focus on what the market is telling you right now. What I mean by right now is the context of the market. How is the tug of war between buyers and sellers? Where's your entry going to be? Where's your exit going to be? Is volume confirming the trade? Do we have aggressive participants? Do we have weak participants? Are buyers showing effort? And is that effort going to get rewarded? Same thing with the sell side. So it really depends on the market context, and it's something that you're going to develop by watching the market in the present moment and exactly what's happening right now. Another thing is that you create your own stress. The market does not create any stress. What I mean by this is that you take a trade, the market already has what it's planned out, what it's going to do. Your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions create stress, and that stress will affect your decisions. Think about adrenaline rushing through your brain when you're entering a scalp momentum trade with 100 contracts. You're creating your own stress. You're fearful of the outcome. Maybe something affected you in the past, or you're fearful of the outcome in the future because you don't want to take a losing trade. You're building this stress, and trading is not very stressful if you focus on the current moment. And again, this is with anything in life. You create your stress, the market does not. So the best thing to do is to not think. Think less, trade your setups. When it triggers, when you get your confirmation, and when the market is telling you to enter, you enter. That's it. And then the last point is that no one knows what the market's going to do next. No one can predict the future. I could tell you 100% certain that myself, the best traders that are making billions of dollars a year off trading, they have no clue what the market's going to do next. But trading is all about managing your risk. When the market tells you it's ready to trade, that's when you trade. If it doesn't work out, you take a loss, you respect your risk, and you focus on the next setup. No one is going to know what's going to happen, and no one could predict the future. We have our edge, we have our points where we want to be active, and we have our confirmation, such as price and volume, to tell us, hey, I want to open up a position, but I will never know if that position is going to work out or not. I could have a clue that maybe this is going to be a high percent trade, but I'm not going to know for certain 100% how the result is going to be in the future. So how to trade in the now. These are two important points. And the first point, that this is something that no one really understands, no one really does, because they're too focused on the future or they're too focused on the past. You have to react to price and volume as it occurs in the present moment without trying to predict what's going to happen next. The market is the storyteller. Your job as a trader is to comprehend and put context clues together, big puzzle pieces together, and understand what the market is telling you, put the pieces together, and then make a trading decision based off of that with planned entries, with planned exits, with planned rewards, with planned systems between price and volume when it's ready to move. And not only do you have to do this, but you have to be mindful of your feelings, your thoughts, and how they affect your ability to make proper trading decisions. You have to do the right thing at the right moment. If you do the right thing at the wrong moment, you're not going to make money. But if you do the wrong thing at the right moment, you're still not going to make money. So not only do you have to be right on where you want to trade, but you have to be right at that exact moment without hesitation, without any of your feelings or your thoughts holding you back, because that's going to affect your logical, rational trading decision making process. So if I pull up my ThinkorSwim here, let's pull up TOS. A perfect example of this was yesterday on the S&P 500. So every morning I post pre-market plans, and yesterday's plan was to really let it develop. Let's get some more context into the market. Again, it's always telling us signs. 1 minute I could be a bull, 1 minute I could be a bear, but we have to develop the information and develop the signs that the market gives us. So I said we're creating an inverse head and shoulders pattern in the neckline around the 3866 area. We had supply overnight from the 3847, which is still in play. So supply zone basically means you want to short the market. And we had another plan, which a base or build value above 3847 can be seen as bullish. And we're going to be looking for intraday clues for entries to the long side. We have demand at 3820, but if I pull up my chart here, we have the 3847 supply zone and we have the 3820 demand zone. So again, a lot of people they trade like a statue. They just sit there. The market can give it themselves clues, yet they're not reactive to it. They're just absorbing the information with really no response, and they're just basically like a sponge, just absorbing it and not putting anything into action. So we had the supply zone, and yes, supply means to short the market, but like I said, no one knows what the market's going to do next. You have to trade in the now, and the market is always giving you your signs. So we pulled back, we bounced off of VWAP, and then we started rallying into the supply zone. So not really an immediate reaction out of sellers at the supply zone. In fact, if I go to a 1 minute chart and pull up yesterday's action, that's the day's action. We bounced off VWAP. We had a nice V-shaped recovery. And this is actually where I took my first trade. As soon as I saw a buyer step in at VWAP, volume was coming in. If you look at that 1 minute volume bar at VWAP, I took this trade long. I told members, hey, I like this to the long side, especially if we could get above 3847. So that was my basically line in the sand. It was my area where I was interested to be a bull if we were above or a bear if we were below. Yes, it's supply, and my normal strategy is to short supply, but the current context and the current market clues depended on a bunch of factors, which I had to piece together. That's what context comes from. It was telling me to be a bull as long as we were above the zone. So then we pulled back, and we were making a weird pattern, almost looked like a W, but yet again, we were bouncing off VWAP. Sell volume was getting absorbed. How do I know that? Price was not coming down any lower. VWAP was pointing up, yet we were bouncing off VWAP for another time. Then the market started moving up, and I took my second long trade, even though we're at supply, anticipating that we had 1, 2, 3, 4 different tests near the 3860 high a day, that if we broke above, we could speculate that the next supply was going to trade, which is around the 3883 area. So the market's coming up, and this is the clues that you have to do. You have to trade in the now. You can't let you can't let your mind tell you when to enter and exit. You have to let the market tell you when to enter and exit. So if you're focusing on a 5 minute chart, let's just say, pull up the 5 minute, there was really not one convincing sign to really sell the market until we got up here to the 3875 area, where we started to see price stall out. It had a hard time moving above high a day. We were still making our higher highs, still making our higher lows, but the market was flat, consolidating. Sellers were not getting rewarded for coming down. So this is where effort and reward comes into play. You have shorts built into the market. If they don't get rewarded and the market starts coming up, they're going to be underwater. They're not going to get rewarded, and they're not showing effort. So what that's telling me is that buyers are in control. So then we eventually tried breaking the high. Sellers started stepping in. So now they're getting rewarded. They're getting a little happier. We pull back, and then we test the high a day. So now this is what is very important. And again, market generates you clues. The market generates you information. your goal and your objective as a trader is to comprehend and put that story together. We broke above the high, yet we failed to stay above it, yet we failed to create value, yet we failed to base above it is a very bearish sign, and we had a nice sell-off going into the end of the day. VWAP defended itself, but eventually once we broke below it and we started selling off right into end of the day, we liquidated right into demand, and now overnight, since now we're above the supply zone, this becomes invalid. And now overnight from this demand, we're bouncing off of it, and we had a very strong rally. And throughout the overnight session, we created more demand in this area right here where we moved up, broke the high, pulled back into this demand. And now overnight we're rallying, and we're seeing a pretty decent rally with okay volume, but not really sellers getting rewarded. And now we're testing the 3,900 mark. So the key with this video, and one thing I want you to take out of it, is do what the market tells you. Don't do what you think is going to happen. The market will always give you its clues. It's like it leaves its footprints all the time. And you have to be the detective to find out where those footprints came from, who those footprints are from, were they from buyers and sellers, and then make a trading decision based off of that. So I hope this video helped. I am away from my main trading office, so I'm on a different mic if I sound different. If you did enjoy this video, let me know. I can make more like this. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram. And if you want to learn more, check out the course on my website. Link in the description below. Peace.